Hello, welcome back to Terra Invicta. I now have a council which has been set up. I've gone in and made a couple of additional changes to my council in the save game file, mostly adding criminal to this operative, and that is because they didn't start with either government or criminal, which is pretty much essential. So now I have two criminals in the kingpin and the operative, and I have two government employees in the judge and the inspector. I now have an absolute ton of XP to distribute, so I'm going to start giving them some persuasion, for example, and boost up science a little bit. Admin can go up a fair bit. Admin is your defense against crackdowns, which is probably the only way that people can get to me right now. So I'm keen to beef that up a little bit. Also looking at commands. I'm just going to go ahead and distribute all of the stats straight away. Things like Survivor and Streetwise are useful. All of these are useful. Even affluent, prosperous, and wealthy. Yeah, it was completely unnecessary to do those, but I think I'm going to make this Jordan Duncan, isn't it? Yeah, I'm going to make her excellent at crackdowns and a little bit okay at espionage, so that the espionage can do this, but we'll give her another couple in persuasion. And yeah, make her a master of crackdowns. That's her primary thing. Now I've got a councillor who can really do crackdowns and really do control nation and hopefully soon public campaign as well. I'm going to make my kingpin excellent at things like, and make sure nobody's got 0 in any stats. So give science a little bit of a boost. Also I'm going to take administration up to, again, about 12. Command and espionage can be about 10. Investigation can also be about 10. Some ability to obtain council, but she doesn't have crackdown, so that's not a top priority, so I'll stop doing that. Beef up persuasion a fair bit, and then I'm going to beef up espionage a lot. The aim here is to essentially make my council just super formidable. Combination of a purge and a crackdown from these two councillors will probably take most of the control points in the game at this point. And that will be okay, and I think I'm going to max out admin a bit more. So this criminal can take a lot of organizations. There we go. Now this inspector does have crackdown. She needs to be good at crackdown and purge, I think. The other good thing I forgot about was that Unifier gives you stabilized nation, so that all the councillors now have stabilized nation. This is going to make it dramatically easier. I'm just putting a few pips into science, admin. Science will unlock more scientific stuff. And this councillor needs to be decent at command. But the primary thing, she's going to be an all-rounder for investigation and purge. that good. Dump a bit more into espionage then. A bit more into admin. Give me a couple more commands. And then I can really max out persuasion and espionage. And I'm just dumping a few science there. Cool. The operative is going to be good at coups. I'm removing a trait for loss of burst, gain streetwise, gain affluent, I think, just to give them a bit of cash to go around with. Again, having admin of 0 is really bad. That's probably going to have caused some problems if I hadn't caught that. So the defense against a crackdown is the average of your administration. So with everybody having about 12 administration, that is going to make it extremely difficult for any of the AI players to crack down on me. So we still need this person to be reasonably good at persuasion. But we also need him to be a bit of an all-rounder, and then a specialist in coups. So I'm just going to max out the command option as much as possible so that we can coup the countries we want to coup. Left, I'm going to dump that into persuasion, and we're good. Now, in terms of the state of the Earth, we have a completely blank thing. So our objectives here is several key countries. So France being in the European Union, and so many other countries being in the European Union. It's still going to be much faster to unite the European Union initially, and then fold it into the UK now that it has so many claims. But we still need to get restored Commonwealth for them to be effective. Russia and the Eurasian Union, also key to get early on. And then what I really like to do is try and block the AI in countries which are really hard to take, like Japan, Indonesia, India. And then countries which are slightly easier to take, like Saudi Arabia and Egypt, are good for building the initial part of the Commonwealth, the Caliphate. But in this game, I think countries like Saudi Arabia and Egypt will just fold straight into the UK situation. So I'm going to quickly have a look around the board. I noticed straight away that in the organisations there's a Australian. Multiverse is not eligible to take control of any of these orgs. Okay, I won't plan for that then. What I'm going to do is go for a UK.
Putting our people in place.
I'm also going to investigate the crash sites.
Ready to go. We'll recon the site.
Ready to go.
Ready.
My theory being that if we put 2 in France.
Establishing our presence. Standing by for orders.
Go for a UK and France.
We'll bring this nation to our side.
I could put a couple of pips into places like Japan or Russia. Anyway, off we go. The key thing is to build up, boost science, unlock things. In terms of the science, unlock social science lab there. Very useful for public campaigns, which I don't really have anybody who can do that yet.
Every circumstance is an opportunity.
Delivering my manifesto to the world at the UN. Always a good idea. Energy lab unlocked. Scientists and engineers, I think, will be a good idea.
Here's what we've found.
There's no evidence of a hoax, Colonel. The world suddenly seems very dangerous.
We've got our people in place.
We've gained significant support.
We have gained significant support.
Excellent. We got 2 out of 3 in France. But by not going for Russia, the Academy have got 1 in Russia. So again, I'm just going to go through a few turns where essentially
Establishing our presence. What's the op? We'll bring this nation to our side.
At your service.
Acknowledged. Establishing control.
Standing by for orders. Establishing control.
We must not only defend human lives from the aliens, we must ensure those lives remain worth living.
They are here to cleanse our sick world.
encountering the other AI, the other factions. Humanity First are very much on a path to alien eradication. Their win conditions are to wipe out every alien fleet and major base in the solar system. I quite like that as an
Our presence is growing.
Our supporters are in place.
We've got our people in place.
We are taking over.
Well, we're losing out on Russia. We will, though, in this phase of the game, so I'm just going to speed through and we'll see what we get. It's a bit of a lottery, even with all the
Reporting in.
the save game file. You know, I've got 3 pips in Britain. No
Taking
one can
control.
Take the 4th pip. So
Ready for
I'm
my
gonna do
mission.
the same thing in Italy.
Bringing them on board.
But
Acknowledged.
I'm also going to try. and
Ready
take
for
a
my
pip
mission.
in Russia.
Bringing them to our side.
What's the up? Establishing our presence.
The dreamer in me wants to believe.
The trick is not to.
I like to go for advanced chemical rocketry because it's got lots of boosting equipment, and we're allowed to get a new councillor. So I'm going to go rapidly to science and get clandestine cells. Although I might get alien signatures first, just to push the plot along.
We're taking over.
We've got our people in place.
Our supporters are in place.
Well, hey,
We have
we've
got our
one
people in
Russia.
place.
Bit lucky. There's still no activity in. Oh. Yeah. The academy always
Colonel,
do very
our
well.
reports indicate.
At taking points in the first few days. of the
Prepping
game.
for next mission. Bringing them to our side.
Standing by for orders.
And I start the process of just
Putting our
taking a
people in
simple
place.
hit
Ready for my
in a
mission.
few key
Ready for
countries.
orders.
And
Your orders?
Those countries include like Ukraine, which I'll
Putting
announce
our
later.
people in place.
I'm doing a bit of a Russia-focused turn with Ukraine, Belarus, and Kazakhstan. You know, a little bit of the UK, France, and
The
Italy to start the EU.
teaches that in the creation.
We've gained significant support.
Our presence is growing.
Our presence is growing.
We've gained significant support.
Got the exec
Our
control
only
point in
hope
Russia,
is to-
absolutely crucial for my strategy to unite Russia early, very early. Yeah, we can
Ready.
move clandestine cells unlocked. Okay, I'm going to continue this strategy. I'm going to put
We'll be running this place in no time. Reporting in. Taking control.
2 into Spain,
Standing by.
1 into
I'm here.
Portugal.
Ready for orders.
1 into Iceland.
Bringing them on board.
Iceland and Norway are like problem countries, as is Serbia and Kosovo. Only saying that because they are not in the European Union at the start and not even in Kosovo. Serbia, Kosovo's case, allied. So with France, which they need to be. So getting control of them early really speeds things up later. I'm going to hire some steely-eyed missilemen so that boost and spaceflight are really prioritised. Already my boost income is starting to rise and
Our
That
presence
science
is growing.
is rising all
Our
the time.
supporters are in place.
Our supporters are in place. We're taking over.
Got Portugal and Spain, France, Italy, UK. It's a good chunk. Missed out on Germany, but
Ready for orders. Applying pressure on their people. Standing by. Removing our enemies.
I'm
Where
gonna
do you
a
need
bit
me?
of, intervention
At your service.
I'm here.
into Germany early on. 'Cause I
Removing
can.
our enemies.
Where to?
Every time you make a decision to not go for a country, it has implications further down the line.
Taking control.
Again, I'm starting to miss out on Japan. I missed out on Indonesia. Even Australia's going.
We
It's a
believe
tough
we
world.
can join them as
Got clandestine cells. For the new council of them straight away. Spy here, that looks quite interesting. I think she will do the job. She's not going to hand over any of the improvements. Does have some loyalty. Very weak on science and can do public campaign, but not for a while. Not until she's been beefed up a little bit. Government traits. Distributing some of the orcs to my council is looking increasingly good.
We've hit them where it hurts.
Well, my attempt to hack into Germany is going well. Should take at least the executive control point.
We have got our people in place.
We've removed some threats.
Our people have taken control.
Blocking them from removing Germany from the EU is just a tactical decision to save time later.
Ready for my mission.
However, I am starting to miss out on quite a few different countries, and one of those that I really, really want to get is
Establishing control.
Japan.
Your orders? We'll be running this place in no time.
Ready.
I'm going to take
Your
a turn
orders?
out and just grab Japan.
Standing by.
Reporting in.
Acknowledged. We'll be running this place in no time.
Where to? We'll bring this nation to our side.
Bit of Denmark and Norway. Along with Japan would be ideal. How many sites going into the main? Main event. And in the early game, if you just can unite the whole of Russia and the EU,
We're taking over.
that's enough.
We've got
you
our
know.
people in place.
That's a great
We've
start.
got our people in place.
We are taking over.
Japan in the bag. Already an ally of the United Kingdom, so at some point it will roll straight in there.
Our supporters are in place.
I'm here.
Missed out on Australia and Indonesia, which I quite wanted. Few other options. It's either a case of continuing to unite Europe, and maybe I'll just go. India's an absolute must. To be honest, I've cheated so much that I can break into the
Bringing
United
them on
States,
board.
so I should probably do that.
Ready for orders.
USA can then be an ally of Britain and roll
Bringing
straight
them
in.
to our side.
Reporting in.
Your orders? Making our case.
Ready for my mission. Bringing them to our side.
Reporting in. Putting our people in place.
Yeah, so the USA and Canada are both allies of the United Kingdom right at the beginning of the game. It'll make it quite easy to fold them in. What I'll do is quickly move Russia's armies out of Ukraine. Oh, I can only move one. So I don't have the other control points yet.
Our case remains unheard.
We've gained significant support.
Our presence is growing.
Our presence is growing.
Our presence is growing.
Great news, we now have access to a lot of orgs that are either in the United Kingdom or not. I'm gonna get the Federal Security Services for my spy. And I think for the judge, I'm gonna get her this public campaign org. I'll also get a kinetic pressure control limited, which has a couple of project cogs and a couple of science. They've generated a little bit of XP now. I'm going to put it into persuasion at this time. Hong Kong Trad, isn't it?
Standing by for orders. Taking control.
Acknowledged.
Just gonna
Ready to go.
focus on Europe for a bit.
Standing by for orders.
Also dump the occasion.
We will be running this place in no time.
Ready to go.
At your service.
Your orders? We're taking power.
The real trade-off here. Do you consolidate
each of
Europe
us.
or do you go straight for India? I'm going to get a rival economics. Get me access to more organisations.
Our presence is growing.
We've gained significant support.
We have gained significant support.
We're taking over.
The opposition remains in power.
Of course, there was an accident. Frankly,
One more turn to put
Taking
everything
control.
into capturing as much
I'm
of
here.
it as possible.
Establishing control.
What's the up?
At your service. Bringing them to our side.
Ready for orders. Taking control.
Where do you need me? Bringing them on board.
What's the up? Establishing control.
So that'll leave me with a Europe, a whole bunch of countries with at least one pip in them. Save me a lot of time. Reusable rockets gonna go. And some boosters starting to pick up now.
We're taking over.
Our supporters are in place.
Our supporters are in place.
We have got our people in place.
We've gained significant support.
Where do you need me?
I'll make sure I got that last
Establishing
control
our
point
presence.
in the UK.
Where to?
Then I'm going to focus on Russia for a minute.
Bringing them on board.
Acknowledged.
Standing by.
Ready for orders.
Where do you need me? Terminating the opposition.
Ready. Bringing them on board.
The aliens have been detected on Huamea. just going to go and
How
have a
could
look at what
one
they've
so
got.
young-
Deep System Sire Watch has been unlocked. So we have the aliens here. They have one ship and one station. And a couple of mining bases in orbit around Hemea. Hemea is a fair distance, 43 astronomical units away from the Sun compared to Earth's 1 astronomical unit away from the Sun. Isn't really much nearby. Make is probably the best place if you wanted to stage a base to attack, but the best thing to do is to just launch from Jupiter, Saturn, Mars directly there rather than building a base. Problem is it can take 6 months to a year with the best engines to even get that far, but in that time they can build a lot of ships. That's quite a way off now. The important thing is what are their ships doing. And we've got one headed to Earth, another one headed to Earth, another one headed to Earth, another one headed to Earth. Okay, so looking at the fleet screen, one's headed to Triton. Okay, so this is them setting up a base around Neptune. And that's what the aliens do. They take the outer planets one at a time, Neptune, Uranus, Saturn, Jupiter, in the early game, and there's nothing I can do to stop them. Humanity is just in no
Our presence
condition.
is growing.
Our presence is growing.
We've gained significant support.
We've removed some threats.
Our presence is growing.
What's the orb?
Well, I think I'm going to have to try breaking into India next.
Establishing control.
Acknowledged. Taking control.
Ready?
Ready.
Where do you need me?
Your orders? We'll be running this place in no time.
Reporting in. Putting our people in place.
My plan for India and the whole subcontinent is to roll that into the United Kingdom in a historical way that if anyone in the audience is offended by, I apologise, but it's fun for me. Probes. Want that before we get mission to the moon.
We've got our people in place.
Orbital shipbuilding, no one's built.
We've got our people in
Like
place.
And we're getting into
We've got
India
our people
fairly
in place.
successfully.
We're taking over.
We were unable to establish control.
I missed out on one, so I've got 2 pips in India. One in Bangladesh, one in Nepal. I'm going to focus on the Indian subcontinent for a minute and make sure I get all of it.
Standing by.
Yeah, the good news is
Bringing them to our side.
that with
Ready to go. Putting our people in place.
Standing by.
Ready to go. Establishing our presence.
At your service. Establishing our presence.
Ready to go.
At your service.
Ready for orders. Targeting the opposition.
Ready for my mission.
yes,
Establishing our presence.
I'm going to try and
It has
purge them.
always been
Purge out their one spot in Bangladesh and continue to unite the subcontinent, but I'm not actually trying to take anything in India, I'm just trying to take the space around it right this second. Germany initiating a spaceflight program is useful. Oh, the Academy have crackdowns all over the place, I need to go and exploit those. Probably should have done that this term.
Our supporters are in place.
Our supporters are in place.
Our supporters are in place.
We are in control now.
We've gained
Mum's
significant
last years were
support.
I'm just going to go to Bangladesh, which I'm now taking the exact control point of. I'm going to ally it with the United Kingdom. And as I take countries, they will all get allied to the United Kingdom if they're not already. France and Russia are wide open here. This needs to be next priority. So I'm
I'm here.
going to go on a bit of a purge spree.
Acknowledged.
Let's take
Removing our
France.
enemies.
What's the op? Terminating the opposition.
I'm here.
I'm here.
So the Academy, once Deep System Skywatchers discovered that the
Targeting
aliens do
the
not come in
opposition.
peace,
Ready for my
the
mission.
Academy immediately
Standing by for orders.
Gets crackdowns on a lot of its locations. Oh, there one in there didn't do anything. I can get one in Indonesia. That's interesting.
Targeting the opposition.
I'm here. We'll bring this nation to our side.
Sneaky control point in Serbia, Kosovo, because they're not in the EU, so I need to do some stuff to change that. But Russia and France are the big prizes.
We're in control here.
We are in control now.
Our people have taken control.
Alien origin, again, story.
Our associates are now in charge.
Our presence is growing.
Serbia, Kosovo can now go into the United Kingdom or France. I'm going to ally it with both. We now have 100% of Russia, 100% of France.
Where to?
I'm going to continue the trend. I can't continue the trend. Yeah, I'm going to continue the trend.
Turning up
I'm
the
gonna
heat.
Take
At your service.
2 councillors in. It's an
We're
expensive way
taking
of taking
power.
points, but
Where to?
Your orders?
I think it's well worth taking all these Academy points while
We are
I've got
taking
crackdown
power.
on them.
Where to?
Because quite frankly, you won't
Acknowledged.
get another chance. Another country that I really like to grab is Taiwan.
Bringing them to our side.
Your
Not
orders?
that it's that easy.
Bringing them on board.
My 5th councillor has not got very good persuasion, but you can use it to pick up the 2nd pip in a lot of the smaller countries. Could go into the same game file and make her amazing.
Crackdown complete.
but There'd like to be some challenge to the game.
Culture? Culture.
Right, we need to get to the moon. Outpost tabs is probably the one that's taking us there. So what else do I need? Rival domestic politics again gets you more organisations available. Focusing on the council now is getting it really beefed up with the best orgs is a really good way of going. Having said that, I haven't checked for ages. So here we go. Federal Bureau of Investigation. Someone that needs a little bit of help with. There we go. bit of help with investigation. And yeah, there's a good couple of those. To get me some more admin. This guy is good for command, so I'll add on some of the... Oh, there's another person I can add public campaign to. Okay. A good set of... So I think I've now got the Kingpin. Point is, I've now got 2 that can do public campaign in the future, which is going to be really useful. Maybe even 3, because the spy can do that as well.
We've gained significant support.
We are in control now.
Our supporters are in place.
Our associates are now in charge.
Excellent.
Your orders?
It's time to go back on a control.
Putting our people in place.
Your orders?
Reporting in. We'll be running this place in no time.
Standing by.
Ready?
Reporting in.
Ready. We'll be running this place in
Just try and break into China.
At your service.
Without doing any public campaigns.
We will bring this nation to our
I'm just going
side.
to throw a couple of people in there on a 50-50 chance and hope that one of them grabs a point. You only need really 1 point, and then you can leave it for a bit, because that point will generate public opinion, and that public opinion can then be used to take the rest of the points. We're just coming up to the end of January, and I'm going to take a little break to think about the next steps.
We're taking over.
Our presence is growing.
We're taking over.
Poland, Spain and Portugal, so now all the major European countries are
We've
now
gained
under mine.
significant support.
And we got into China.
We are taking over.
Got 2 points in China, so I've got 2 points in China and 2 points in America.